What does colleague mean in English? Business English vocabulary. Greetings, colleagues. I'm Timothy Bear, and this is the 4 Business English Rundown. This is the show for all those who want to improve their professional communication skills in English. Today we're going to talk about colleagues. So what does colleague mean in English? So this is a very important word in business English vocabulary, colleague or colleagues. And make sure that you get the pronunciation right too. Obviously there's a connection between college, collegiality, and colleague, colleagues. But whether we use a soft G or a hard G is different. College, collegiality, or colleague. Colleague, colleagues. And it's a tough word to spell. I think I usually misspell this one, then like, oh wait, that's not right, and then I go back and correct it. But it's colleague or colleagues. And this is someone that's an associate or a fellow member of a profession. For example, for a long time I was a practicing attorney, a lawyer. And so anyone that's a member of the bar that's another lawyer, we could say is a colleague. They're a colleague of mine. I'd like to introduce John, he's a colleague of mine. Or I'd like to introduce Frank, he's our colleague. And so meaning that in that situation that he's a fellow member of the bar. Now, other professions can do the same thing. If you're an accountant, a doctor, or anything like that, you could refer to someone in that same position, even though they have a different employer. They don't necessarily work with you, in your company, but they are a fellow doctor, accountant, lawyer, whatever the profession is. Now, sometimes there's an overlap between coworker and colleague, but they're different things. Like for example, if you're a lawyer, you might have a coworker, somebody that's a secretary, administrative assistant, IT person, something like that. They're a coworker. They work in the same company, the same law firm, but they're not a colleague. A colleague would be another lawyer. Now, you have other colleagues that don't work with you. They don't work in the same law firm. They work somewhere else, but they're colleagues. They're in the same profession. Ideally, we have collegiality among the colleagues. That means collegiality is that they all get along. Doesn't mean that everybody's a best friend or anything like that, but that we respect each other. We don't disrespect each other. We don't speak bad of the other person or cheat the other person, that sort of thing. And that there's kind of a friendliness or a friendship among this profession. Now, of course, on one hand, that's probably idealized. There's always rivalry. There's always people that don't get along. That maybe they even hate each other. But the idea among a profession is that there is collegiality, and probably in the long term, that's a good thing. You want other professionals to get along with each other. And to have certain standards, that whoa, you don't do that to another colleague. You don't say that about another colleague. So it can have a positive influence on the profession as a whole. So what about you? Do you use this term, or do other people use this term about you that includes you? If you notice, I usually start the videos with greetings, colleagues. I was trying to look for a catchy way to say hello, and I thought since these videos were the 4 Business English Rundown have to do with business associates, etc., I thought colleague was a pretty good way to start. Greetings, colleagues. What do you think? Is that a good way to start the videos or bad? Let me know in the chat. Do you like the word colleague, or do you find it more difficult than it really needs to be? Let me know in the chat. All right, it's that time again. It's time to conquer the like button. Please like and subscribe. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the other ones as well. Please check them out. This is 4 Business English Rundown. Work hard today and enjoy tomorrow.